Good morning, students. Yesterday, I discussed the difference between cooperative societies and joint stock company. Today, I am going to discuss the difference between cooperative society and partnership. Yesterday, I told you, whenever you are going to write the difference between anything, first you have to write the points of distinction. That means on the basis of which point you are going to differentiate them. So today I am going to discuss the difference between cooperative societies and partnership. Here the points of distinctions are: point number 1, registration. And you know, in partnership the registration is not compulsory. So in partnership what happens? Whether you register the partnership business or not, it is not compulsory. On the other hand, in cooperative societies, the registration is compulsory. That means whenever you are going to run a cooperative society business, you have to register it as per the government law. Now the second point, management. What do you mean by management? That means whenever you are going to run a business, the business has to be managed properly. Now, who is going to manage the business in cooperative societies? In cooperative societies, basically the business is managed by the executive committee. On the other hand, in partnership, the business is being managed by the partners. So once more, what is the management? In cooperative society, the business is managed by the executive committee. On the other hand, in partnership, the business is managed by the partners. Next coming, formation. Now, whenever you are going to form any organization, in what way you are going to form it? So basically, cooperative society has been formed under Cooperative Societies Act 1912. On the other hand, the partnership business is basically been formed as per the Partnership Act 1932. That means whenever you are going to do the cooperative society business, it has to be done according to the Cooperative Societies Act 1912. On the other hand, whenever you are going to register the partnership has to be done as per the law of Partnership Act of 1932. That's very important. Next coming, legal status. You know the meaning of legal status? Legal status means cooperative society has to be registered. When cooperative society has to be registered, that means cooperative society is having a separate legal entity. On the other hand, partnership is not compulsory to register. That is why partnership doesn't have any separate legal existence. So what all point I discussed first? Registration. What is cooperative society? Its registration is compulsory. What is partnership? Its registration is not compulsory. Second thing, management. So it is managed by who? Executive committee. Partnership is managed by partners. Next coming, formation. It is formed as per the Cooperative Societies Act 1912 and it is formed as per the Partnership Act 1932. Now legal status. Cooperative society has been registered. That is why it has a separate legal entity. On the other hand, partnership is not registered. That is why partnership doesn't have any separate legal entity. Last is objective. You know the objective. What is objective? Means whenever this partnership firm or the cooperative society has been established, they have established with a particular aim. So what is the aim or objective of cooperative society? Yesterday only I told you when I told you the definition. The aim of the cooperative societies is to provide service to its members. What is the aim of cooperative societies? The aim of the cooperative societies is to provide service to its members. On the other hand, the aim of partnership is to earn profit. So what is the aim of partnership, their aim is to earn profit. Now, I am going to discuss the merits of cooperative societies. You know the meaning of merits. All of us are knowing what is called merits. Merits means when there is something good about someone or some organizations or some business firm is basically called its merits. Like a human beings like you and me having some merits, similarly we are having some demerits also. Here I am going to discuss the merits of cooperative society. Now whenever you are going to write the merits of cooperative societies, first things what you have to write, you have to write the subheadings of the merits. You write the subheadings, underline them, and after underlining them, you write one or two sentences about each and every subheadings. So first, I am going to discuss the merits of cooperative societies. The first point, ease of formation. Now, what do you mean by ease of formation? Formation means whenever you are going to form the cooperative society, this is what is called formation. What do you mean by ease? Ease means you are going to form it easily. That means whenever you are going to form the cooperative society, you have to register the cooperative society. But whenever you are going to register it, its registration is very simple. And you have to pay a very less amount of money to register it. That is why it is called ease of formation. Like if I want to give you an example, like you want to take certain loan from the bank and you want to take certain loan from your friend. What you have noticed, both the cases, certain formalities has to be maintained. If you go and take the loan from the bank, what you have noticed? You have to fulfill lot of formalities. You fill up this kind of paper, that kind of paper, go to this place, go to that place. So it takes a lot of time. It has lot of formalities. But on the other hand, if you want to take loan from your friend, little bit formalities only is there. What your friends will say? Please sign in this diary that you have taken this much of money and when you are going to return it to me and how much interest you will take it. So there the formality is less. Similarly, in the formation of cooperative societies also, whenever you are going to register it, its formality is very less and it has to be done very fast and you have to pay less amount of money. That is why it is called ease of formation. This is one of the merit. Second point, open membership. Yesterday only I told you, one of the most important points of cooperative societies is open membership. That means in cooperative societies, anyone belongs to that society can be the member of cooperative society. In cooperative society, there is no differences between the caste, creed, religion or political parties, willingness or all those things. Anybody who is ready to help each other, who is ready to cooperate with each other, they can be the members of the cooperative society. That is why it is called open membership. Next point, limited liability. You come and understand the meaning of these two things. What is limited and what is liability? First I am coming to the liability. Liability means your responsibility. Unlimited means your responsibilities is being limited to certain extent. So in case of cooperative society, what you have noticed, the liabilities of the members of the cooperative society is limited. How much is the liabilities? In case if the cooperative society is run at a loss, how much they have to pay? The members has to pay only the share whatever they have contributed in the cooperative society. So here the liabilities of the members of the cooperative societies are limited. But if you go to the partnership, you remember that their liabilities is unlimited. Why? Even if the business firm is running any kind of loss in place of partnership, what is going to happen? the partners has to bear the loss even by selling their own assets. Okay, that is why their liabilities are unlimited. But here, the liabilities of the what? Members of the cooperative societies are limited. Next, low operating cost. Please understand it. The three words: low, operating, and then cost. Now, what do you mean by low operating cost? You know, to run a business, you have to spend certain amount of money in different heads. Like, you have to spend something on your electricity, you have to spend something on the wages or the salaries of the workers, you have to spend something to the maintenance of the business. So in place of cooperative society, why their operating cost is low? You please understand it very carefully. Why the operating cost is low? Because in cooperative society, what is happening? The office bearer, those who are managing the business, they are basically doing it honorarily. That means they are not taking any fixed salaries and wages in cooperative societies. So what is happening there? Therefore, the operating cost of the cooperative societies are less than other kind of business. One more thing you must know, in cooperative societies, everything of the business is being managed by the members of the cooperative society. They are only selling, they are only collecting the money, they are only doing the buying of the things also. So everything is managed by them. And what basically are they doing? This office bearer, who are maintaining the record, who are buying, selling, they are giving the service, honorary service. Honorary service means they are giving the service free of cost. Okay? That is why the operating cost of the cooperative societies is low. Like you are running a hostel. When you are running a hostel, and if you are only doing the cooking, you are only feeding the students, and you are only taking care of their studies, you are not keeping any staff. Or if you are keeping very minimum number of staff. When you are keeping this minimum number of staff and you are managing everything by yourself and you are giving the honorary service, that means there the operating cost will definitely come low. So in cooperative societies, everything is managed by the members and they are giving honorary service. That is why their operating cost is low. Last point, cheaper and better supply. Now what do you mean by cheaper and better supply? Just I want to give a practical example. If you go to a roadside hotel and you want to have chicken and rice, and the same thing if you go to a good hotel in your own city and there also you go and wants to have chicken and rice, what you have noticed? Both the cases you are having chicken and rice. When you go to the roadside hotel, the cost or the price what you paid for chicken and rice is less than what cost you have given there in the city hotel. Why? Because the roadside hotel, their low operating cost is there. Why there is low operating cost? You must have been noticed in the roadside hotel, the person who is cooking, he is only serving the food. And he must be also cleaning the utensils and all those things. So one person must have been managing all those things. Point number two, when you go and sit in the roadside hotel, there is no AC facilities, may not be there cooler facilities, okay, may not be there other toilet facilities and all those things are there. That is why their operating cost is low. And when their operating cost is low, definitely they are going to supply the goods in low cost. So on the other hand, in cooperative society, why they are giving the goods in cheaper rate and better supply? The reason is that here cheaper because their operating cost is less. That is why they can supply the goods in cheaper rate. On the other hand, why there is better supply? Because the motive of the cooperative society is to provide service to their members. When their motive is to provide service to their members, definitely they will supply the better quality of goods. That is why they are supplying. This is why this is one of the merits of cooperative society. So today I discuss two things. Number one, I discuss the difference between cooperative societies and partnership. There I told you, whenever you are going to write the difference between cooperative societies and partnership, first you write the point of distinction. That means on the basis of which point you are going to differentiate them. And if you write the points, it will be very easy for you to differentiate it. So for the examination purpose, you remember those points. And if you know the meaning of the points, easily you can write or explain on your own language. There is no need to write what is given in the book. Second things what I discussed the merits of cooperative society. There also I have given you the subheading or the main point about the merits of cooperative societies. You first write these subheadings, and after writing these subheadings, if you know the meaning of these subheadings properly, easily you will be able to explain one or two sentences about these subheadings. So always you remember, whenever you are going to write the merits, demerits of features, always you write the subheading. And after writing the subheading, you underline them. And after underlining them, you just explain on your own language one or two sentences about those subheadings. Thank you.